everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today to learn more about McMaster University here in Ontario, Canada. So I see folks joining us from across Canada. That's awesome. As well as other places from around the world. So I see India, Indonesia, Ghana, Thailand, Uzbekistan, Iran, Colombia, Pakistan. Let's see, UK, US, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Venezuela, El Salvador, Trinidad and Tobago, Algeria. Amazing. Welcome. Well, I'm excited to introduce to you McMaster, the place that I currently call home. I don't sleep here, but I work here, so I call it home in a sense. Anyways, let's get started. So my name is Nicole. I'm part of the Central Student Recruitment Team that assists high school students interested in pursuing undergraduate studies at McMaster. We are all here to help make this journey easier for you, and I do hope that you will reach out whenever you need to. Anyone on this team is eager to help you. If you're looking to transfer into McMaster from another university, or you're interested in graduate studies, we're happy to direct you to those respective offices. Just let us know. So today's webinar will be about 30 minutes long. It's a very brief look at the areas you see here, in hopes that you will leave with an overall sense of who we are, where we are, and what we have to offer our students. So since this is a very general introduction, we anticipate lots of questions, and we encourage you to ask them throughout the webinar using the Q&A feature at the bottom of the screen. And my lovely colleagues in recruitment will be answering these questions as we move along. So I'd like to begin by acknowledging that McMaster University is located on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee nations, and those who live and study and work here have a responsibility to care for the land and peacefully share its resources with each other, as laid out in the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement with the Indigenous people of this land. McMaster seeks a new relationship with Indigenous people based on deep respect and honor, and it's important for those who join our community to understand this. Now, while McMaster was originally established in Toronto in 1887, it was relocated to Hamilton in 1930. Fun fact. For those of you who are joining us from abroad or are unfamiliar with our city, Hamilton is the 5th largest city in the province of Ontario and the 12th largest city in Canada. There is an abundance of nature to explore, including over 100 waterfalls. That's the most waterfalls of any city in the world. So we get this pretty cool title of waterfall capital of the world. It's also about a 45-minute drive from both Niagara Falls and Toronto, and it's well connected by train or bus. In the last few decades, Hamilton has developed also its arts and culture scene. So it has, many art festivals, public concerts, shows, and lots of culture going on, and a really great food scene. Now, for those of you who are less familiar with Canada, there are 4 seasons here. So you'll be wearing, a winter coat in December, your bathing suit in the summer, and essentially everything in between at some point in the year. But save the bathing suit for the beach or the pool. We're not walking around campus in bathing suits. These are the average temperatures by season, and our main campus is honestly a really nice place to experience nature as it changes from season to season. As I mentioned, McMaster was originally established in Toronto in 1887, but was relocated to Hamilton in 1930. This is a bird's eye view, excuse me, of our central campus, which covers 30 acres of land and is surrounded by 300 acres of this very lush green conservation space. And the lake that you see behind there is Lake Ontario. So to walk from one end of the campus to the other takes about 10 minutes. And because outside traffic is not allowed onto the campus, it's a self-contained campus, it's entirely pedestrian and bicycle friendly. A really nice feature of our campus. With just over 32,000 full-time undergraduate students, we're considered a mid-sized university, which means things like the number of resources we have access to, our work and research opportunities, and our international reputation and so on. They're similar to that of a larger university, but we also get to enjoy the many perks that come with being part of a smaller, more tightly knit community. You feel that when you come to the campus. And this community is diverse in many ways, including the country that people are coming from. So currently, our international students make up about 17% of the undergraduate student population. They represent over 120 countries, and we have international alumni out in the world, representing about 143 different countries. So McMaster is consistently ranked highly both in Canada and internationally. It's considered to be in the top 1% of universities worldwide. We've been ranked number 1 in student services in the medical and doctoral category by Maclean's. And with, over 70 research centers and institutes, we are the second most research-intensive university in Canada and among the world's best when it comes to research excellence and our industry partnerships. So we have 25 level 1 programs. So these are programs that you can apply to right out of high school. The first 2 programs on this list don't live within any one faculty, but the rest are housed within like one of 6 faculties. So many options to explore, based on your interests. Flexibility is built into most of the programs that you see here. So it's, very possible to customize the degree that you get in a way that suits you. Like, for example, by pursuing a minor. An important thing to note as you look over this page is that our many upper year programs are not shown here. So these are just the ones that you can apply to right out of high school. If you're looking to, for example, you're looking for psychology, you're not going to see it here because it's considered a second year program. So you'd take one of these programs first to obtain the necessary prerequisites for psychology, and then you'd apply to psychology in your second year. Most programs are about 4 years in length, with some kind of experiential learning embedded into the program, like co-op, internship, research, clinical placements, field work, and so on. So whereas some experiential learning won't lengthen your degree, co-ops and internships, which are paid positions related to what you're studying, those take place outside of the classroom and they do add to the length of your degree. So a 1-year internship would mean an extra 1 year in your program. You can see a little notebook icon next to some of the programs here. These are the ones that require something extra for your application, in addition to your grades. So maybe an interview, an audition, a written essay-like response to a specific question, and so on. So if you apply to McMaster, make sure you're clear on the specific requirements of the program that you're applying to. So this experiential learning, it's really central to the undergraduate experience at McMaster. Experiential learning. It's a broad term. It includes learning opportunities that exist outside of the classroom for all of our students. So all students have access to some form of experiential learning, either directly through their program or through the university's Student Success Center. So as I mentioned, co-ops and internships are paid work experiences that they allow you to get out into the real world and explore diverse career paths, build connections with top employers and strengthen your employability. You can also engage in research alongside faculty and contribute to, the discoveries that are being made. There are field placements, clinical placements, a lot of volunteer opportunities, and study abroad programs. So we partner with around 100 institutions worldwide. Many students will complete part of their studies abroad so that they can experience a different culture and expand their perspective even more while studying at university. Beyond what you see on the screen here, there are also thousands more, paid work opportunities, both on and off the campus. Here's a quick look at just some of the companies that McMaster students are currently working with. Now, what's required to be considered for admission into McMaster? You're probably wondering. Well, each program has different requirements in terms of courses, averages, whether a supplementary component is required. And you can search for these requirements using our admissions tool on our website and linked here. So we look at various high school curriculums from around the world. Some of the main ones that we see are represented in the search tool. You can find some general admission requirements for many of the other curricula worldwide. That's on our website in the International Hub area of our website. And if you're unsure or you don't see your curriculum, please, reach out to our team. There are so many around the world, and we're happy to help you out. As for the application process, applications to all universities in Ontario, including McMaster, are submitted through the Ontario Universities Application Center website. So while some application deadlines vary, we strongly recommend applying by January 15th. Note that we don't make alternate offers, so just make sure that you apply to all of the programs that you're interested in at McMaster. You can apply to up to 3 programs at McMaster. Now, a few days later, after you've applied, you're going to receive an email from McMaster Admissions. And that email is going to include login details that allow you to access the McMaster applicant portal. This is where you're going to complete the rest of your application, upload documents, and so on. Offers will go out between late February and early May, depending on the program. Some programs have rolling admissions, others don't. And then most offers are conditional, meaning you'll have to fulfill certain conditions like graduating high school, completing your required courses, keeping up a certain average, and so on. And depending where you're applying from and the curriculum that you followed, you may be required to submit an English language proficiency test score. These are the tests that we accept and the scores required for admission into a program, direct admission into one of those programs that I showed you at the beginning. In some cases, you may be asked to submit this, and you may think, based on the criteria on our website for exemption, that you could qualify for exemption and not need to submit this. Just reach out to us and we'll let you know how you can go about requesting a waiver for that. If you don't meet the minimum test score, you're not completely out of luck. There may still be another way to join us. So our MELD office, the McMaster English Language Development Office, offers 8-month and 7-week bridging programs. So these are for those of you who meet the requirements of a program, but you fall short on the ELP proficiency score. So if you think you may not meet the minimum proficiency score required, you should consider these options. Let's talk about costs now. Excuse me. In terms of costs, you can use this tool on our website. It's very handy. It shows a breakdown of tuition, housing, meal plans, and other costs. So you can play around with that and see an estimation of how much you would owe. There are two main kinds of entrance award: automatic and by application. So automatic awards don't require you to do anything. They don't require an application. Consideration for them is just automatic based on academic merit. And then recipients will be confirmed in August. By application awards, on the other hand, do require an application. And there are many, many by application awards, each with its own criteria and requirements. So to make it easy to navigate through the various awards, McMaster uses a platform called AwardSpring. So this is kind of a one-stop shop for all awards that require an application. A very handy tool. Excuse me. Like it makes it very easy to see what you're eligible for, what you need to submit, and then to track the status of your applications. You'll be able to access the AwardSpring platform once you've applied to a program on the OUAC and received your MAC ID. You'll need that MAC ID to access the AwardSpring website. Then you'll be asked to fill out a general award application, and you'll be matched automatically with the opportunities that you are eligible for. AwardSpring will open in November, and then most applications will be due in February. And then recipients announced between March and May. Now, international tuition is higher than other tuition, and so to offset the higher cost, international fee-paying undergraduate students are offered 20 million Canadian dollars in awards, ranging from 10,000 to 200,000 Canadian dollars per student. These awards can be found on the AwardSpring platform. Let's talk about living in residence. So this is a really great way to immerse yourself in the McMaster community. We have 13 residence buildings on campus and various styles of room. While most students live in a traditional style room and share their bedroom with one or more students, we also have apartment style or suite style accommodations, which are like self-contained units. You'll typically have your own bedroom, and then you'll share your kitchen, bathroom, and living room with a few other roommates. We also have specific themed residence communities, like all-female community, a quiet community, as well as these optional living and learning communities. So these are basically floors in a residence building that are shared with other like-minded people. So like you get to participate in these unique events related to your shared interest. There are, so many ways like this for you to build meaningful connections and a meaningful community for yourself at McMaster. Now, getting a spot in residence depends on a few factors. Most students will need to achieve a certain admissions average in order to secure a spot. The average is determined in the spring, um, and that residence guarantee will be indicated on your offer letter. Currently, international fee-paying students joining us from high school are guaranteed a spot in residence for 4 years. Now, to secure your spot, you'll need to complete your residence application online and pay a deposit of $600 by the deadline in June. Then you'll be randomly assigned a date and time to log into the residence portal to select your room. So living off campus is also a really great option. McMaster is surrounded by residential neighborhoods. Many of our students live off campus in either houses or apartments. We're about a 10-minute walk from a lovely neighborhood called Westdale, I think, which there are many amenities there. So you've got banks, grocery stores, um, cafes, pharmacies, restaurants, and McMaster Housing does have an off-campus housing portal, which you can use to find accommodation, and they also have like a matching system that can help match you with a roommate if you're considering living off campus. Students also take public transit around Hamilton using the transportation card that's included in their student fees. So any student can travel around Hamilton and to campus by bus for free with a convenient stop right on campus. We also have a separate transit system called GO that connects us to other cities like Toronto and Niagara Falls, which is really nice because it makes weekend trips super convenient, and a lot of students do take advantage of these. Okay, so regardless of where you end up living, you're going to need to eat. We've got great food on campus, 18 eateries, a diversity of cuisine. We've got allergen-friendly options, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, halal. We also have 15 off-campus vendors that you can use your meal card at. If you live in residence, you're required to purchase a meal plan, and then your meal plan money is loaded onto your student card, which you then swipe each time you buy food. So kind of like a debit card. And then if you find yourself running low on funds, you can easily top it up at any time. So it's very convenient to use. Okay, so all work, all study, no play is no good for anyone. And staying active, getting involved in activities outside of the classroom is highly encouraged. We have a lot of opportunities for you to do this. The Athletic Center is one of the largest in North America. It has lots to offer. Uh, a fitness center, a track, an indoor climbing wall, an Olympic-sized swimming pool, lots of courts, football fields, soccer fields. We have a team for almost every sport you can imagine. Uh, we also have some more casual options like intramurals, um, and a ton of other fitness programs like dance and yoga, and the list goes on and on and on. But if you prefer maybe a less sweaty method of de-stressing, there are so many other ways to get involved at McMaster. So, 350 clubs that cover all areas of interest. So there really is something for everyone. Some of you might be worried about the transition from high school to university. It's natural. I mean, it's going to be different from what you're used to. So we have an extensive network of support for all of our students. This includes academic success, including accessibility needs, mental health support, community-based support, medical support, And international students who decide to study abroad, they often have other unique interests that require additional support. So we have a dedicated team for our international students as well, called the International and Exchange Student Experience team. So they offer things like immigration advising, pickup from the airport, a dedicated orientation in August, social gatherings, and a lot more. That brings us to the end of today's webinar. I hope you found this useful. I do realize that this may have sparked even more questions, and that's often what happens with such a general introductory kind of webinar. I do hope that you'll reach out to our team for help after this if you need it. We have 5 more webinar topics coming up each month, so please do register for any that you're interested in. And again, to anyone whose questions couldn't be answered tonight, or if you think of some later on, connect with us afterwards so we can give you the guidance you need. There are many ways: live chat, email. Um, you can sign up for our newsletter using the QR code on the screen. You can follow us on Instagram at MacAdmit. If you're in Canada, please consider attending one of our open houses that are upcoming. Such an awesome way to see the campus and learn about the different programs and services that we offer. Thank you again for coming. I'm really happy to see the turnout and the wide variety of countries that everyone is joining us from. It's really exciting for us to see that you've joined us today, and we hope to connect with you soon. Take care, everyone.